Hello there folks, I'm Joey DeAngelis and welcome to Silent Film Saturday, episode number 45. This week I'm continuing my Joseph von Sternberg discussions with The Last Command, starring Emil Jannings. This package is from the Criterion Collection and it is included on the 3 Silent Classics by Joseph von Sternberg box set. This disc includes 2 scores, one by Robert Israel and then another by the Alloy Orchestra, and a supplemental feature as in the form of a visual essay by Tag Gallagher. The story goes like this. Grand Duke Sergius Alexander, probably butchered that, played by Emil Jannings, is a general during the October Revolution of 1917. Eventually, it's overthrown and he leaves for Hollywood, which he is hired on to a film to play himself. And the director of that particular film, played by William Powell, was actually a revolutionary that he arrested. Now, this film looks beautiful. Thanks to the restoration, there's really nice not only blacks and white, you really have some nice grays in the film, and it's a strong looking film. I don't know why I mean by that. Of course, the main part of this film, the reason to see it, is Emil Jannings' Oscar-winning performance. Well, actually, it's partially true. He won for 2 performances. He did another film, The Way of All Flesh. I'm probably misreading the title, but unfortunately that film is lost, and we are left with The Last Command. Emil Jannings also starred in another Joseph von Sternberg film, The Blue Angel, also starring Marlene Dietrich, and, of course, in one of my all-time favorite silent films, and probably my favorite F.W. Murnau film, The Last Laugh, in which he plays a doorman who is proud of his job, but is suddenly demoted to bathroom attendant. And if you know anything about Jannings' best performances, they're typically these grand, almost operatic performances that really convey the tragedy. In this film, we see him as the strong, confident general who is compassionate for his men, but not always trusting of the Tsar. He's normal, he smiles a lot, and is a pretty decent guy. He might be on the wrong side, but he's not a terrible human being. Then he makes a transition to this guy who had lived from this horrible event and now has to work as a Hollywood extra, willing to play himself in a movie. In a movie directed by a man he arrested. And he's always shanking, he never smiles, there's always a look of uncertainty in his eyes. And you really feel that hopelessness. It's conveyed powerfully through Jannings' performance. Evelyn Brent, who was also in last week's film, The Underworld, plays Natalie, who is a female character that he grows fond of. And she only goes with him so she can spy on him and, see if she can kill him or do something, ruin his plans. But eventually she comes to love the man. Not because she agrees with him, but because in a different way than her, because she's revolutionary, he loves Russia. He loves Russia just as much as she does, except in a different light. He feels that the Tsarist Russia is the best Russia. And that is a really somewhat compelling love story. And she even gives him the way out to get him out of America. Get him out of Russia, excuse me. She gets him that way he can go to America, or get out of Russia entirely. We also have William Powell in this film, who plays another revolutionary and was a companion of Natalie. And he plays the role rather well, and he eventually becomes a director. And he's trying to find the perfect guy to play this role, and then he finds his enemy from 10 years ago, which is really interesting. Anything else I really have to mention this film? One of my favorite shots in the film is where one of the revolutionaries is kind of having fun with Natalie, and this guy's just like, hey, I'm supposed to have fun with her. And the guy takes out a gun, shoots him, and when the guy falls, you're presuming he's bleeding, but instead you see a bottle of alcohol pouring, with all the liquid. out of it. And I felt that was a beautiful image to have those two, that prop and then that actor next to that. And the film has a very tragic ending. I'm not going to spoil it. It's just really sad. So all I can really say is, this was the reason why I bought this box set, because I wanted to see this film. And I am so glad I had a chance to revisit it thanks to Silent Film Saturday, and it remains one of my favorite silent films. It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure, revisiting this film once again. Next week, I shall be reviewing the last film in the box set, The Docks of New York. See you guys next week.